and welcome to the Healthy Half Hour podcast. We are your hosts, Richard and Karen Inslee.
The Healthy Half Hour podcast is your resource for all things healthy, and we will be discussing how to make nutrition, fitness and lifestyle choices work for you.
We will be sharing our own personal insights along with research gathered from working in the health and fitness industry for the past 10 years.
Our show is brought to you by the 7 Day Shred, which can be found at 7dayshred.com, and please feel free to visit our podcast website, which can be found at healthyhalfhourpodcast.com.
And now on to today's show.
Hi everybody out there. If you're listening to this, obviously just after it goes out, we're on the run up to Christmas. If you're listening to this in June, it's going to seem a bit weird.
Christmas is in 6 months.
Yeah, so whatever time of year you're listening to this, Christmas is imminent right now. And so what have we been doing? Well, we've actually...
You're a little older.
I'm a little older because I had a birthday and we went away to a place called Pinewood Lodge.
Yep.
And if you don't know where that is, it's in the White Shell.
Even you don't know where it is. And
yeah,
you went.
I know it's in Dorothy Lake.
It's next to Dorothy Lake. It's not in it.
Next to Dorothy Lake.
An aqualung.
So, yeah. So went away to Dorothy Lake and spent 2 days in a cabin for my birthday. And this year has actually been a year of firsts for us. And one of the firsts was my birthday weekend because we went and spent the day with some clients of yours that live just up the road from this cabin. And we actually went ice fishing. I've never been enthusiastic about going ice fishing, and I've been trying to send you with one of my friends for the longest time to go. But yeah, it was good.
Well, the weather was nice. It was only -3. There wasn't a lot of wind, so
It felt colder than -3, though.
We took a couple of skidoos across the lake, and
First time on a skidoo.
so we ended up.
First time ice fishing.
You take an auger and you drill a hole in the ice about 8 inches diameter, and get a little fishing rod that's about 2 foot long, and you can either sit in a pop-up tent, or you could sit out on the ice or stand out on the ice and fish for a few hours in through the fishing hole. So I mean, it was fun.
So I was a big suck because the clients of yours had just recently bought this brand new pop-up tent that's in a sled that you tow behind your skidoo, and
You sat in there with a heater.
yeah. So I was actually okay.
I tried to go in there and it was that hot. I just had to leave.
Oh, it was like being in a sauna. It was awesome. So that made it tolerable for me. I'm caught the most massive fish.
I was going to say a first for me was I caught a big jackfish or pike, whatever you want to call it. It was 35 inches long. So, I mean, it was a good sized fish.
Now.
Yeah, now she lives in our, part of her lives in our freezer. So
we've eaten some of it.
Got some big fillets off her, and it was a good time had by all. And like Karen says, we're just on the run up to Christmas now. And this year, Karen more than me, we've spent a little bit more time on our honey products and wax products, and we set up a little website called sunnysidehoneypot.com, and we've been pushing things out of there and marketing it as best we can, and it's been super busy. So yes, everybody loves what we're doing. The website is having a few technical difficulties, so if you do log on to this early in the week before Christmas, it might not be up, but no, sunnysidehoneypot.com. I should get it fixed soon. I'm just waiting for tech support to get back to me to fix the end. But anywho, aside from that, we're going to do our little podcast today on the run up to Christmas, because obviously New Year is around the corner and people start to go nuts with New Year and things. So we're going to talk about mindset today.
And one of the things quite relevant to us is that my mindset towards ice fishing. I actually sat with you and your clients in their house before we went, and I was actually totally honest with them, saying I'm not totally enthusiastic about doing this. It's never actually appealed to me. And I guess my mindset was like, I was embracing it and looking forward to trying it out, but I wasn't totally enthusiastic, and I was totally honest. And maybe my mindset wasn't like, I don't know, like whether it was the right frame of mind that I was in. But hopefully today we're just going to like show you how changing your mindset and just being open to like new things and changes. And yes, I would go ice fishing again. But
wasn't that bad, you see?
No, it wasn't. But like, we're going to discuss like maybe looking at it from a different perspective, or instead of looking at the negatives, like look at the positives, or looking at ways you can make your experience better and change your mindset so that the experience does become a better one.
A mindset, again, especially when it comes to weight loss, dietary changes, exercise, things like that. I mean, that's really the big thing that's going to hold you back. It's absolutely huge. And a lot of the times, again, if you're choosing weight loss as probably your main goal, it's probably not the right reason. And it's kind of an unsustainable reason in some ways. And again, people look at me gone out when I kind of tell them this, but, oh, you're in this industry and, you know, why are you telling me this? Well, firstly, we're not in the diet industry, we're in the health industry. And we want to make people healthier, and that's the right reason to want to lose weight. And if you get healthier, like again we've said with Karen's phrase, you will, you know, get healthier. And what, Karen?
Well, you can't lose weight to get healthy. You've got to get healthy to lose the weight.
So yeah. And don't, again, people try to, oh, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to go on this crash diet, I'm going to kill myself at the gym for 6 weeks, and they're trying to force weight loss. And if you're trying to force weight loss, your body's just going to kick back more often than not. If your weight loss does come off, then you're probably going to bounce straight back to where you were again. But again, because what you were doing, as we've said in previous podcasts, is just kind of unsustainable.
And one of the things when it comes to mindset, you should think of it as in like a little cycle. So having the right mindset towards your health will initially help you to change your behavior. And then the next step will be changing the habits that you currently have. And then obviously what's going to happen is you're actually going to get results. So, and just keep going on that circle. So choosing the right mindset or changing the mindset towards your health will help change your behaviors. It'll help change your habits, and then you'll see results. And so if you don't see the results that you want, maybe consider, okay, well, I address my mindset. Maybe I need to like revisit that. So it's just a continual circle of like constantly evolving and like looking at your mindset.
And those behaviors, a lot of times people jump in and try to change way too much. Have a look, make a list of all the things that you think you need to change or that are changeable in the fairly immediate future, and start on the list with something that's fairly easy. Don't try and change everything at once. And like Karen says, once that behavior has been changed and it becomes a habit, then you can kind of go back again, have a look at the list, pick something off the list and carry on. And again, this is what we're looking for. Like we've said before, it's sustainable. And really, what I say, with a lot of the times people aren't overweight because they eat too much. Normally there's an imbalance in the body somewhere. So like we've said, you've got to kind of heal things first and get that hormonal balance back. And I mean, it may involve a trip to your doctor. I was talking with a girl, I did some work with her a few years ago. She was big into running, and she ran and couldn't lose weight. She was kind of really struggling on the weight loss, and some weight came off her, but she could never kind of get down to where she used to be. And she just went for a routine check with a doctor about 6 or 8 weeks ago. And the doctor said, oh, you've got PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. And she says, oh, your androgens and your hormones are all kind of out of whack. And she basically put her on a hormone replacement, again, just temporarily, to kind of level her out a little bit. And literally she dropped 20 pounds in about 6 weeks. And literally
Wow.
it was just that hormonal imbalance that was holding her back. She used to go running. She even injured herself quite badly running because she just wouldn't stop, just in the hope that she was going to lose some weight. And it did. It made her fitter, which I mean and cardiac health and everything else, and did take a little bit of weight off her. But the real weight loss she wanted was a hormonal balance, not killing herself on the side of the highway by running lots. So I mean, again, losing weight isn't easy. It's hard. In fact, actually, it's very hard. And you've really got to kind of prepare yourself for these mindset changes that you're going to have to make. And like I say, don't try and do everything all at once in one big lump.
And one of the things that we see, and like we're not bashing the keto diet or anything, but like right now, because like following a keto protocol, and I hate that everybody knows that if you've listened to us for long enough, that I hate that term diet. But I see it all the time. Like, I'm going to start keto on Monday. Any tips? Oh, I'm going to start like tomorrow. To me, that's not the right mindset. I mean, like, go into it and obviously we talked about it, like, or should I say I ranted about it, was it on our last one, about labeling? And, there's no keto foods, there's no, like, paleo foods, there's no, like, celiac foods, there's, like, foods that you should incorporate or avoid, and people don't get the right mindset. They just, like you said, it should be about getting healthy. But people see all these photos before and after that, follow the keto diet and I'm going to lose like lots of weight. Whereas they're not looking at it from the health perspective. They've got the totally wrong mindset and they're approaching it just from weight loss. And we've addressed this before where I've like asked the questions in some of the keto groups, and probably those groups I've been kicked out of by now. And, you've got to look at it as health, but a lot of people are just looking at the number on the scales. So their mindset is like approaching it from weight loss. And, the question that I asked in several like posts was, well, is anybody actually checking their body fat percentages? Because you could be that skinny fat, and go back through, I don't know how long ago, we've discussed this, haven't we, about being skinny fat and that you might be losing weight. But if you're not checking your body fat percentages, you could still be holding a lot of visceral fat. And the visceral fat is the fat that surrounds your organs. So just because the number on the scale's going down and you're fitting into those skinny jeans better, that's not the wrong that's totally the wrong mindset to have, because if your body isn't healthy, you could be losing weight, but you're not actually losing the beneficial visceral, not beneficial, the visceral fat that is beneficial to improving your health.
Yeah, for sure. And then, again, that mindset with holding on to weight, like I say, that client I had was the hormonal thing with her. Sometimes people hold on to weight, and again, it's something that's lodged in the back of their minds. And sometimes you may have to ask yourself some like really hard questions of why are you hanging on to this weight? And I mean, it may sound silly, but if you lose weight and you're going to attract more attention, whether it's from the opposite sex or whether it's from your workmates or whether it's from your friends, oh my God, don't you look great? Wow, you look fantastic. And I mean, are you prepared for that? Fashionable clothes. Now you're going to look at basically fashionable clothes. I mean, a lot of times people who are overweight, they will dress like they're wearing a tent because, again, it covers them all up. And now may have to wear something more figure hugging. Again, this is going to bring you back to attention. Are you prepared for that attention? Are you ready for that attention?
And I had a client a few years back, and she wanted to lose weight and did lose quite a significant amount. But then, she was getting the wrong kind of attention, and she self-sabotaged the weight loss, and she actually regained it again. And because she couldn't handle the attention and the comments that she was getting. And
when, especially sabotage was the next one I was going to talk about. And I mean, there was a sabotage and saboteurs all around us. So know who or what they are. I mean, you may have your spouse and they love you to bits, but they might be the saboteur that's stopping you, maybe holding you back. It may be something you drive to work every day and you always pull into Starbucks or wherever it is because it's habit. And that's a saboteur, that's sabotaging your progress because you keep doing these daily things every day. So again, realize that again, there are saboteurs or something that's maybe sabotaging your progress. So again, have a look into that. And we covered this on a podcast not long ago called Skinny Utopia, and thin doesn't equal happy. A lot of times again, when I lose weight, I'm gonna. Not really. When you lose weight, you're going to be the same person you are now who gets into a skinnier pair of pants. But aside from that, if you've got marital troubles, any other problems, then again, you're still going to be there. You know what I mean? If your other half is now in love with you because you've lost some weight, then you should have picked a better one before that anyway.
And one of the things you shouldn't. We've said, I just said a few minutes ago about, I hate that term diet. And a lot of people, again, I guess going back to that labeling podcast that we did, people will look at foods as being good and bad. And you shouldn't look at foods as being good and bad, because a lot of the times when you're looking at cheesecake or eating something, you go oh my goodness, this is the worst thing ever. I shouldn't be eating it. The stress response that you're putting on your body and how it's affecting your cortisol levels is actually, and your mindset towards how you're eating, and you're not eating mindfully. You should be approaching that food going, okay, I'm going to enjoy every single bite of this. It's not part of my normal protocol. But if you're approaching it and saying, this is cheesecake. You had some pumpkin cheesecake this morning, didn't you? It was good.
Pumpkin pie, yeah.
Pumpkin pie. And and you shouldn't be eating that food thinking, oh my goodness, this is the worst thing ever. I'm going to gain weight. Oh my God, this is so bad. This is awful. I shouldn't be eating it, because you're eliciting a stress response on the body that's actually worse than the food that you're eating. So if you're eating mindfully and approaching the foods that you're eating, so once a week maybe you might indulge or something, enjoy every single bite of it and just say, hey, this is awesome. I'm not eating it every day. So again, the right mindset towards what you're eating, and don't think of foods as good and bad, because when you think of it as bad food and cheap foods, and we've covered this topic before, then the stress response that's elicited on your body, is again, bad.
I realise eating that one muffin isn't going to make you gain weight overnight, but also realise changing your lifestyle for a week isn't going to make you lose it either. So again, time. Patience. It's going to take a little time. And again, sometimes I've worked with people and it's took several different attempts at coming at diet or lifestyle changes from different angles until something actually clicked. So like Karen said earlier on, just because something didn't work, don't go back and do the same thing over again just in case it might work next time. Change it up a little bit, but don't change it a lot. Because again, if you're creating these new behaviours and new habits, you can't change everything again overnight. Just a couple of tweaks here and a couple of tweaks there sometimes again can just yield those results that you're looking for.
I'm just revisiting what you did. So as I said, that circle, the mindset you have going into improving your health and making changes to behaviors, and then it'll change your habits and then you'll get results. So have a look and go, okay, well, I did this. Can I see something blaringly obvious that went wrong, or the reason it didn't work for me? So have a look at it and go, okay, well, let's have a look at how I went into this situation and what behaviors I tried to change. And like you said, you're not trying to change everything all at once. And going back to that keto comment, and people go I'm going to start keto tomorrow. If you're currently on a standard American diet or regular carb diet, processed foods, and you try to change something and say, right, as of 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, this is what I'm going to do. Yeah, you're going to fail.
And one thing, again, upon an overriding thing really is a lot of times going back to the skinny utopia is people say, oh, well, as soon as I'm thin, I'm going to do this. So if you're actually hanging on to doing something to wait till you've lost weight, don't. Just get it done now. Don't let weight hold you back. Don't let weight stop you being you. Enjoy yourself. Do what you want to do. Just relax a little bit more and just kind of go with the flow of what, if there's something you really want to do and you think, oh, I'm too heavy, I can't do that. It's not going to be, I need to do it when I lose weight. What happens if your body's happy at the weight you're at and the weight never comes off? Then one day you're going to be sitting in a chair in an old people's home thinking, oh, I wished I'd done that. And again, it's part of the journey. It's enjoy yourself. Don't go do those things. You might find that you do it, and then again, your mindset changes and the weight falls off you. So with these things, it's sometimes, again, we just think about things, like Karen said, in the wrong way, and just kind of reframing the picture and think about things more positively as opposed to negatively, and things just might turn around for you.
And I'm going to reference a study that was done.
Oh, Dr. Ruscio.
No, Stanford Mind and Body Lab.
Not
And
Chris
it was
Kresser.
where there was a 380 calorie shake, and the participants in the study were told that one shake was 140 calories light and sensible shake, and the other shake was described as a 620 calorie indulgent shake. And we've covered ghrelin and leptin in previous podcasts, but the shakes were exactly the same. They all contained 380 calories, but they told participants that one was 140 calories and it was light and sensible, and the other one was 620 calories and it was an indulgent shake. And the results were that the people that thought that they were drinking the light and sensible shake, their blood ghrelin levels and satiety levels actually dropped dramatically, whereas like the ones that thought that they were drinking the 620 calorie indulgent shake, theirs actually went up. And again, it's that mindset. And then it's like when they do like blind studies with like new drugs and things, and like they have a placebo and then they have the actual drug. And again, it's like, if you have the right mindset and you think something's going to work, what's that like phrase? If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Yep. You're right. So
Henry Ford.
Yeah. If you think you can't do it, then you're right. If you think you can.
And again, a lot of times we do talk ourselves out of things, and again, just have that one piece of cake, and then I may as well have two, and then I'll have three, and blah blah blah.
I'll eat the whole packet because I've ruined my diet anyway. And then
unless you're like Rhonda and just give the cake away so you can't have any more.
Rhonda, did she? When?
That's what we talked about today. Went for brunch with Mark and Rhonda, who've been on the podcast before, and they had a pecan pie, and then she gave it to her son so they couldn't eat anymore, and he took it.
Oh, sorry, yes.
Good diet tip. Good job. So talking of tips, again, we're just going to kind of run over a few things, kind of tips for success. And again, these things are not all do this, sort of a must-do list. But again, like I said at the start of the podcast, lists aren't a bad thing. I mean, the most obvious one is cut back on processed foods. There's been studies done, and all people did was went from processed foods to whole foods. They never changed pretty much their diet. They still ate the similar amount of macros, and they lost weight. Because again,
cleaned up their diet.
They just cleaned up their diet, and whole foods, your body knows what to do with them. When I start with somebody, yes, I get them to use MyFitnessPal or something, just to have a look at kind of where they're at, how many calories they're eating, and again, for their body size, their activity levels, and again, to look at maybe just that slight caloric deficit to lose weight. But be calorie aware. I'd go that far. Don't go nuts. Don't go kind of all over it. And again, if you're trying to do keto, be macro aware. Be aware of what macronutrients you're putting in, but you don't need to sit there with a pen and a paper. Some type A's love it, and I mean, it works well for them. And if you're in that bracket, then good for you. But if it's something you hate to do, don't do it. Again, like Karen said, stress, then it's not part of the journey that you need to go on. I mean, I say being calorie aware more often than not is good enough. So choose to eat healthier without thinking it'll suck. Because, again, you say to people, I'm going to go on a whole food diet. Oh, that's going to suck. I can't have any of the foods I want. Bad mindset. Change that mindset. Find things that kind of will, again, rattle your taste buds. Make really good food. Also, try and find joy elsewhere. You know what I mean? You don't. People look for their food for their happiness. I mean, try and do something else that makes you happy, not necessarily eating. I mean, tie something to eating that makes you happy. But again, try to have that whole food, and just try it, because again, at the end of the day, if you're looking for solace and for feeling better by eating certain foods, again, sweet foods, sugary foods, all those things that light up those centers in the brain, then again, you're never going to kind of get to that point where you're going to start losing weight, because again, you're self-sabotaging at that point. An easy one is just eat slower. And I mean, your grandma told you, it's not rocket science. We've said before, you go to a restaurant with somebody and you have a meal and wow, that tasted really great. And then you go home and you sit in front of the TV, probably a very similar meal, and shovel it in and don't even remember eating half of it. It's like driving to work and forgetting half of the journey. So eat a little slower, enjoy it, pay attention, and pay attention to hunger. Know the difference between your stomach being hungry and your brain wanting something sweet, wanting something. There's a big difference. One, actually, like I say, you're actually getting signals from your body, hormonal signals that are saying, I'm hungry, we need to eat something. And the other one's just lust. So it's that your brain just said, oh, we need that donut.
Oh, well, I mean, like we said that we went for brunch with our friends Mark and Rhonda today, and yeah, we shouldn't have come back for like the extra plate, but it was just like,
I shouldn't have gone back for the extra 2 plates.
It was just like so awesome, and obviously there was eggs Benedict there, so I just could not resist it. But it was just like, yeah, it was that I want extra,
and it's a one-off celebration with friends.
Yeah.
So tomorrow I won't eat tomorrow until we'll have a bit of supper
probably
tonight.
One meal a day
and just
tomorrow.
do 1 meal a day tomorrow, and probably the same on Tuesday, and just get back on track. Wasn't the worst thing in the world. We had a great time, good chat, food was
great
okay.
Company.
Yeah. So and a big one again, like I said, sustainability. Lose the short-term attitude, because I'm going to lose 20 pounds and then what? It's the short-term attitude kills a lot of things, because you're not thinking long-term. You're not thinking rest of your life. You're not thinking, I'm going to change how I'm eating. And again, going back to what I said, we're in the health industry, not the diet industry. All the diet industry wants is short-term, because they
and
know,
money.
They know they'll get you money 2-3 times over, because they'll know short-term weight loss isn't sustainable. You'll put the weight back on, you'll come and buy the same stuff again, and you'll just keep going round and round in circles, because again, it's going to work better for you second time around, third time around, fourth time around. And again, that's what the diet industry does. That's why it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, because people just keep coming back and throwing money at it.
And Einstein's definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
So think long-term, change that mindset. Again, patience. Practice it, and then commitment is huge. You just be committed to it, and again, not humping Mark and Rhonda's legs to death today. And we're never going to mention them again now, not today.
Oh no!
But again, they're kind of year 3 now of their big weight loss journey, and they're committed. They actually went to a Christmas function a couple of weeks ago, and Rhonda said that somebody says, oh, you've kept it off then? Oh, what are you doing? That keto thing or that paleo thing now? And Rhonda just turned around and said, no, I go to the gym and I eat whole foods. It's simple.
And she said, like, I've never followed keto. I've never followed paleo. I've just eaten real food.
Yeah. So again, commitment, patience, again, and just practice what you're preaching, sort of thing, and do that. And like we did today, went out for a bit of a splurge. And so what? And to be honest, when it comes to plans for like weight loss, the best plan is no plan. If you're trying to follow something right down to again, we get it, and you're going to follow keto. Oh, I need a meal plan. Really? You're going to follow a meal plan, are you? No. Do you follow a meal plan now? No. Is it the reason why you're overweight? No. So again, people get this meal plan and, I got 10 days into it, and then we went for supper somewhere and, I may as well not follow it now because I went off plan. No plan is the best plan. Just, again, do that intuitive eating like we spoke about before, be calorie aware, excuse me, and, eat whole foods and not processed foods. And one of the big ones, truly love yourself. Like I said before, if you're thinking of not doing something because, I'm overweight and I'm going to do it when I lose weight, don't do that. Love yourself. Love who you are. Because if you don't love you, nobody else will. And sometimes just loving yourself and changing that attitude. Again, you may be 65 and you're kind of overweight, and you may end up with the body you end up with for the next 15 years. and you may never lose the weight. So don't hate yourself for the next 15 years. Just, it is what it is. Embrace life and have fun. And be prepared for pitfalls. Because when you change anything, again, like I said, the first time the wheels fall off, people are just going to, again, go the other way or stop or throw all the towel in or go and buy some whatever shake and all the rest of it. And again, just be prepared that things are going to go up and things are going to go down.
And weight loss is not, or health improvements is not a straight line. It's like ups and downs, and
so's life.
Yeah, and
weight loss is no different.
Yeah, and people just like think, oh, you can't be and you really can't be at the top of the mountain all the time. So you're gonna have like ones where you slide, and at the end of the day, we always say to clients, have that kind of 5 or 6 pound weight loss buffer. So everybody goes like, oh, my weight loss goal is like, I want to get to 140 pounds. Like, okay, well, focus on between 135 and 145. If 140 is your weight loss goal, then allow for the fact that it isn't a straight line and you might gain a couple of pounds and lose a couple of pounds. And like I say, having the right mindset towards like, don't look at it like, oh my God, I've put 3-4 pounds on. Oh, this is the worst thing ever. No, just have that buffer, because there's going to be times throughout the year, especially here in Manitoba. I mean, like our summer times, I mean, we eat less, we move more, and get out in the fresh air and the sunshine is so beneficial to health. And people tend to like drop the weight during the summer and then have that 5 pound buffer, and it's not the worst thing in the world if you do just put on a couple of pounds.
No, a little bit of winter weight never hurt anybody. Well,
a lot of winter weight might.
But if a little bit comes on, keep it in check.
Yeah.
And just do what you've got to do.
One of the things that I want to do as well is like approach this podcast mindset wise, not just from your perspective, but look at, if you're using the services of a nutrition coach or a health coach, is look at what their mindset is towards nutrition and health. We see it a lot, especially with like keto being very popular right now. You'll get a lot of coaches that go, oh, well, keto is going to fix everything. It's going to cure world peace. It's going to balance the budget, and you're going to get to your ideal weight. And they're very dogmatic, and their mindset towards the keto protocol is, this is the only protocol that you should be following. This is the only protocol that will work. So have a look at what your nutrition and health coach's mindset is as well. Challenge what they think. Are they open to alternative options? Because we've mentioned this on a podcast a while ago, that a client that I saw a few years ago, she came back to me a couple of years later and she said to me, this is not what you were telling me 2 years ago. I says, no, I says, because nutrition is probably the most evolving like topic out there. And we changed how we looked at things, and new research comes available, and you research and read and look at stuff. So our mindset has changed towards what we recommend to clients, hasn't it?
And yeah, and also, like we've said before, if somebody comes to us, I want to eat vegan, vegetarian, carnivore, paleo, keto, whatever, okay, we'll go with that. We'll run with what you want to do and see how it works for your body. I mean, we've got no bias
to any protocol, have we?
And kind of see what works for you. And I mean, that's, again, they're down to the individual and kind of what works for you, your schedule, and again, more often not your body type, how you digest certain things, whether you've got sugar issues and other things. So I mean, there's a lot of moving parts.
And you've got, like, say, what we've said this multiple times and reiterate, there's no one diet that fits everybody. And we've got a friend who went vegan, and then I saw it 6 months later, she was eating paleo because it didn't work. Her body did not like it. So it's like, okay, you want to try something, but don't get stuck in that mindset that like you said at the beginning of the podcast, stop trying to force the issue. Listen to your body, and you've got to approach it from like, this is not working for me. Maybe it's the wrong thing. Maybe I should be looking at something different.
Yeah, so again, hopefully we've kind of tackled some of those mindset things and also made you maybe think a little bit about your mindset, and maybe again think about kind of how you are approaching and take that different approach. Obviously, November. Obviously, January the 1st is coming up soon. And
you can't start a diet until January the 1st.
Or Monday.
Yep.
So, again, people are kind of, now is the time to sort of I know Christmas is just coming, but now is the time to sort of put that thought pattern into it. We are going to squeeze another podcast in before New Year about about resolutions and things. So that might be a little bit of a rant, but we'll see how that goes. So, see you then.
That's all we have time for right now, but we do hope that you join us for our next show. And if you want to contribute to an upcoming show by suggesting a topic that you would like us to discuss in more detail, then hop over to our website, healthyhalfhourpodcast.com, subscribe to our podcast and submit your suggestions. The Healthy Half Hour Podcast was brought to you by the 7 Day Shred, and don't forget to share our details with your friends and review our show. Until next time, thanks for listening.